This video is brought to you by AKS IAS.
Allur Mohammd Khadeer. Allur. This surname Allur sounds something new. How come Allur is there in your surname?
So actually, in Andhra Pradesh, especially in my region, especially Muslim community or even in Hindu community, they name their names from the village names, so that it will be easy for the identification among the relatives. So usually people will.
So your family hailed from Allur?
Yes, Allur is a village nearby my town, which is around 30 kilometers from which we have migrated 2 generations ago.
Which district?
It is right now in Kurnool district, but we have shifted. It's like earlier it used to be in Kadapa, we have shifted to Andhra.
But what about Allur Sitaramaraju?
So actually, Allur Sitaramaraju is from Rampa, that is in East and West Godavari district. It is basically because there will be many villages with the same name. That is, it is due to that. We don't have any relation
between Allur Sitaramaraju Allur and your Allur. Your basic qualification is Bachelor in Arts from Usmania University.
Yes.
Which college?
Sri Chaitanya Degree College.
Sri Chaitanya Degree College, Bachelor of Arts from Usmania University. What were your subjects?
So my subjects in BA were History, Economics and Public Administration.
History, Economics, Public Administration. Can you tell me one book on ancient India which you covered for your preparation?
So I have covered R.S. Sharma, and also occasionally I used to read A.L. Basho, The Wonder That Was India, for ancient.
Can you tell something about A.L. Basho?
Sorry, sir. Means like I know the basics that he is a foreigner who has Britisher especially who has written the book during the time of John Marshall, that due to his scholarship he has written. I don't know much extra about him, so.
Was faculty in Canberra University,
Australia.
Then the first volume, Wonder That Was India, is written by A.L. Basho. There is another volume, Wonder That Was India, volume 2.
I think I have read the volume 2 only, sir. It's like it is a updated version.
No, volume 2 is not edited by A.L. Basho.
Okay.
That is edited by Rizvi.
Rizvi. Thank you.
So, because everyone knows about volume 1 and A.L. Basho, but volume 2, most of the students are not covering.
Okay. Thank you.
So, what is this gratitude diary?
The gratitude diary is my hobby, sir, which is that usually people write diary to have a record of their daily activities. But the gratitude diary differs from that in a way that a person who writes it is like they will be thankful for what they got. It gives them a positivity and also humility and being down to earth, and also it gives the person to have to look for good things even in the bad situation. That's why I started writing.
What are the things you write every day?
I don't write every day, so why? Because fortunately bad things don't happen daily, but it's like some negative things don't happen daily. But I write it like on every 2 days or 3 days. But like that, sir. Usually, if I see, for example, yesterday I was going outside, sir. I saw a person who was limping. He was a handicap. While I sat in front of the table to write the diary, I thought that I was so fortunate that I could have 2 functional legs for that which I was thankful, and it brought me out of some personal issues outside. It's like that I will write. It's like I will see some and I will.
Is it a trend now? From where you started picked this habit of writing?
So actually, my senior has suggested me regarding this. So means like when I have been studying in Delhi, sir, for preparing for civil service and studying in Delhi. Due to that, I used to face a lot of problems. So, for example, during winters were extreme. I was far away from the home after many days. And also there were many physical changes in me, like my hair fall has started, etc., which have diverted me towards to see negativity. It means like I started becoming a negative person, means like person with a negative attitude. Then my senior who has observed that, and he suggested me to write, and it has benefited me, and have accepted myself due to the gratitude habits.
Documentaries and movies on history.
Yes.
Can you name some?
Movies or documentaries, sir?
Start with documentaries.
So, for example, sir, in Netflix there is a documentary called World War II colored versions. There are two seasons of it, and also in Discovery Channel we frequently get. Recently, I watched a documentary on Subhash Chandra Bose Lost Files. It was like those things recently.
Do you have any problem in the documentary script itself? Because documentary is nothing but the narration.
Yes, sir.
And every director of the documentary will have their own perspective.
Yes, sir.
While documenting, do you see bias
Yes, sir.
in the documentary?
Yes, sir. Why? Because, for example, sir, I have watched a movie called The Coldest Game, which is about the Soviet and USA Cold War times movie, where it is about a background of chess. In that movie, the movie was directed by a Hollywood director, so it was all biased towards biased against Soviet Union, and they showed this one. At the same time, I have watched the movie called Stalingrad, which was shot by a Russian director, who has shown that it was all because of Soviet Union that the World War II they have been able to defeat Nazi Germany. So there is bias in documentary or filmmaking, but what is needed is that a person must watch both sides of the coin and must judge to himself.
How do you get to this truth in terms with this second one, Stalingrad?
Sorry, sir.
How do you come to the truth?
Sir,
do you believe the truth? It is truth by the Russian film.
So, because if I would have watched only Stalingrad, I might have believed that only Russian version was true. But fortunately, due to my interest in movies and various scholarship activities, I know what means like I could ascertain what is truth. Means like there are many other factors also which turn the tide of against Nazi Germany. It's like this is a victory of Soviet Union, Russia.
But how many people or how many lives got sacrificed during the Second World War by Russia compared to all others?
That is true. Yes, sir. That is also a fact, sir. Right? Because only in the Battle of Stalingrad they have sacrificed around 2 million soldiers.
So actually Russian sacrifice was much greater than anyone's sacrifice.
That is true, sir.
So here the problem is, of course, bias will be there,
yes,
but at the same time, bias means it's not bias. Being objective is a quality and criteria, no doubt about it.
Yes, sir.
But we can see what is true and what is not.
Yes, sir. Means like for that we have to see other version also. So for example, we have to read and
see
research.
Other version. Take the case of Kashmir Files.
Yes, sir.
What do you see? Which film you want to see if you see the other version?
I have not watched the Kashmir Files. Why? Because I could not get time. Why? Because it was during the mains period, so I could not watch. If I get an opportunity, I would.
But you know the background and the story of Kashmir Files.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you want to see the other version of Kashmir Files, because you watch movies,
yes, sir.
Which film do you want to suggest, or you prefer to see?
Means like regarding Kashmir issue or Pandit issue, sir?
About Pandit or Kashmir?
Okay, sir. For example, Shikara movie, sir. It is also on the basis of exodus of Kashmiri Pandits. And if you want to see about Kashmir issue per se, I would prefer to watch Roja movie of Mani Ratnam. And
Roja is very, very naive.
Right now, I am able.
Roja is ultra nationalist sometimes.
Probably, sir, but it gives a perspective. Means like it has shown an objective manner that this Kashmir issue was not only due
There
to
is another film much more better than Roja. Roja is aesthetically made and it's a popular one.
Yes,
but have you seen Hyder?
Hyder, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I forgot Sanchok, sir.
Hyder.
Yes, sir. It is a very good movie.
Hyder is the perfect movie if you want to understand the politics of.
That's true, sir. That's true, sir.
Kashmir.
Thank you, sir, for that. Thank you.
So you are preparing for your mains.
Yes, sir.
your civil services preparation.
Yes, sir.
How many attempts you have given till now?
So I have given 2 attempts.
Both times?
No, it's like only one time I have written mains. So it's like second attempt was on June 5th this year.
Means this year,
Yes,
day before
yes,
yesterday.
yes.
Second attempt. So first attempt you went to mains.
Yes, sir.
In the first attempt,
First attempt, yes.
very good. So how was your what is your experience in the mains?
So,
Where did you fail?
so my assessment was that I had overestimated myself regarding optional, sir, due to which I have got less than decent marks. So I have to work on it.
What is your options?
Political science and international relations.
There you scored less.
I stumbled, sir. Means not less, sir, but I got around 215, 216. So it is less mark only compared to get into interview. I am sure that I will work on it.
How was your experience this time? Are you sure that you are going to crack this time? Prelims?
I am hopeful, sir.
How about CSAT?
CSAT was also good, sir. Means like I am confident about it. I attempted around 55 questions, which I believe it will help me to say qualify CSAT. And paper one also I am expecting some decent score, which I can say through write means once I probably.
You talked about this one yesterday's paper. No? So the Fanam.
Yes,
What
sir.
exactly is Fanam?
Coins. It is a coin. It was used during the medieval India, especially in the Bahmani Sultanate period, etc. They have used Fanam.
Do you have the Fanams? Any what do you call before Bahmanis?
So,
Do you have any
Fanam means like with that word, sir.
similar word, similar sounding word in coinage?
So, Fana is there, so Fana.
Where?
Fana. Satava.
Karshapana.
Karshapana, Fana.
Shatavana period. Karshapana.
Yes, sir, that is what.
Karshapana. From there, you have the same similar
I
sounding
remember
word.
this,
Is there.
sir.
Karshapana.
That what helped me to solve that question. I remember that.
Do you speak Telugu
Yes, sir.
fluently?
Yes, sir.
There is a proverb.
Sir.
Trunamo panamo ichi diskapo.
Yes, sir.
Trunam means
Trunam means like Truna Prana means like end. Means like exactly I don't remember, sir, but I.
Trunamo panamo.
Trunama Panama means.
I want to take something. He is having something with him.
Okay, sir.
So you'll advise me that go and get it from him. Trunamo panamo ichi ఆయన దగ్గర తీసుకో.
Okay, means like give anything and.
Trunam is grass.
Grass, acha.
Grass is so it doesn't cost no, but something you give. గడ్డి పరకాయ నుంచి తీసుకో. గడ్డి పరకో ఒక పణమో. Panam is kind.
Okay.
In your language, you have this.
Yes, sir.
If you are having this understanding about props and these things, that question is very easy.
Yes, sir.
Trunamo panamo ichi తీసుకో అంటే కాయిన్స్ అర్థమయ్యేటి.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have heard this lokokti
Lokokti, good.
But I means like I know Trunapranam means like Trunaprayam. Trunaprayam means like teenage, young age, etc.
Trunaprayam means
Old age.
I am ready to sacrifice my life. Trunaprayanga na జీవితాన్ని ఇవ్వడం. Trunaprayam means I can sacrifice గడ్డి పరకలాగా నా జీవితాన్ని ఇచ్చేస్తాను. That is where Trunaprayam means చాలా ఈజీ, అది పెద్ద విషయం. That is Trunaprayam.
Okay.
You are translating Trunamu and Prayamu. Prayam means age. So it is not the age. Prayam means like.
Achha.
So I don't have anything to. I can sacrifice my life as if it is just a blade of grass. That is the meaning of it.
Thank you, sir.
So you like traveling also.
Yes, sir.
Where did you travel?
Especially all through South India, so most of the South India I have traveled. Sir. And also the most recent travel destination was Jodhpur, sir.
In South India, what was the last?
So South India, recently, means like 1 year ago, I went to Velankani, sir.
Why?
Velankani because near the Velankani there are including Velankani, there are 3 major religious shrines. So, for example, for Muslims, there is a dargah called Nagur Dargah.
Nagur Dargah.
Beside that, Velankani where Mary Mother Church is. From that, around 100 kilometers from that, there is Tanjavur Brihadishwara Layam Temple, etc. So, I usually my family, with my family, I usually go to. But,
So you have visited all these three?
yes, sir.
In Tanjavur Brodeshwara temple, you find the statues of the king statue.
Yes, sir.
Which king?
It is of. Uh, no, sir, Rajaraja Chola, sir.
Rajaraja one. Good. That is
Panantaka is also painting, but not statue.
Rajaraja.
Yes, sir.
This Nagur Dargah.
Yes, sir.
You are talking about Dargah.
Yes, sir.
What exactly is Sufism to you?
Sir, Sufism is a practice. It is a phase of. It is a part of. It is a form of Islam where they practice, where they stress on internal purity and also devotion to God instead of instead more of. Instead of more rituals, they emphasize more on the connection with God, especially through the practices of zikr. Means like to remember in Telugu it is called smarana, etc. And also they are more into charity, etc.
Is it part of Islam or is it separate from Islam?
Sir, actually, Sufism is like Bashara and Beshara. There are two types in Islam, sir. Means like the ones who accept, means like it also depends. Sir. For example, there are many silsilas in Sufism where some are Bashara, means like who accept the authority of Sharia, that is Islamic.
No, my question is from this side.
Beshara.
No, my question is not from Sufi side, I am talking from Islam side.
Okay, sir.
Islam is not giving you anything. Islam is not into mysticism.
Yes, sir.
But here in Sufism, you have mysticism.
Yes, sir.
How can Sufism be part of Islam then?
That is a theological question which needs to. That is what the issue is. That fundamentalists like Taliban, etc., ISIS, etc., targeting Sufi strains in Pakistan, Afghanistan solely because of this reason only. Sir. But what I personally believe is that. Sufism is also a part of Islam because they never Sufism they also believe that there is God, there is Allah as the God and the Prophet Muhammad as the last messenger, and also they believe in the basic little kalima, means like it tells that Allah is the God and Prophet Muhammad is his last messenger. So it is also accepted. So I believe that Sufism is also a part of Islam.
In Islam, you have this Shia and Sunni.
Yes, sir.
Shias accept Sufism, Sunnis don't.
I do not know what it is.
Yeah. Sunnis are more rigid towards Sufism than Shias. If you understand this intrigues, like or this conflict, you can understand Sufism also.
I did not know this. I'll try to know.
Yeah. Sunnis, generally they are very rigid in that sense.
But what my observation was that, I'm sorry to...
Akbar.
Akbar X.
I know.
Akbar
but
X.
here, Hyderabad, you have more dargahs.
Yes, sir.
Because you have the Shia base than Sunni base here. Qutub Shahis are Shias.
Yes, sir.
So that is the beginning, and we have this base, and Sufism became part of the fabric of the society. Okay?
Yes,
this is a major aspect. Wherever you have Shia, you have moral.
Yes, sir. That is true, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
And compositeness.
Yes, that is true, sir.
Wherever you have Shia, you can see more compositeness in the society.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is.
So that's the problem. Yes, sir.
Did you get this point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you agree with this?
Basically, no, maybe so because there are many countries like UAE who are Sunni also, but still they are more composite, cosmopolitan.
No, that is true. The reasons for the compositeness can be something else.
Yes, sir.
I am not saying that only these people will be composite, but the composite reason for the compositeness here is this one.
Maybe so, sir, but I am not aware of that, so I may not be.
Yeah. What exactly is the meaning of Suf?
Suf is wool, sir.
Wool. Because of the lamp code they have got. But there is another inner meaning, or there some what you call some meaning about Sufi. Sufi is love.
Sufi is also
love. Ishq Sufiana. So basically, the Sufism is one. Can you tell me which is the beginning of Sufism in South India?
Means what is it?
First time. When did it appear in South India?
So
Sufism.
it has come with Nagur Dargah, the saint of Nagur Dargah called Nagur.
Period.
So it was around 1400, 1500s.
Then it is late.
Means like if you see that means like in Kerala also it came very early in 700 or 800th century only, sir. But I don't know whether it is Sufi form of.
No, it is not Sufi. Complete South India, if you want to
Gesudaras
see.
maybe, sir. Raja Bandhana, Gesudaras.
Gesudaras, Gulbarga.
That's a good one.
That is the first Sufi shrine.
Yes, sir.
That is the beginning of Sufism in South. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, in Andhra Pradesh, actually our questions are more focused on, since we are preparing for civil services, lots of things are bouncing in a bigger way. But come to your AP.
Yes, sir.
What is the biggest problem Andhra Pradesh is facing today in terms of development?
Basically, it is due to there's lack of capital and also lack of sustainable financial resources, sir. Because most of the population is dependent on agriculture. 70% of the economy is dependent on agriculture, which is not seeing tremendous growth. It's like not seeing good growth, due to which there is unsustainable financial issues.
What are the resources, geographical and natural resources in Andhra Pradesh to overcome these issues?
So basically, one of the boon for Andhra Pradesh is that it is on the coast, sir, and is having 970 kilometers of coastline. That is also towards the ASEAN countries, whom India is focusing. Which so it can be Andhra can be used for the policy of look east policy of India, and also due to Andhra being in between the major cities like Calcutta and also mineral rich states like Jharkhand, Odisha and all, and industrial states like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, etc. Andhra can develop through this roads, infrastructure, etc. for the sake of transport, so that there is scope for industrial corridors also like Vizag, Chennai industrial corridor, Chennai Bangalore industrial corridor, and also geographically, if you see, we have the boon of fertile lands, especially in Godavari and Krishna Delta, due to these rivers, which are almost perennial rivers. And also there are also some bains like drought-prone Rayalaseema region, which has to be looked after. Sir.
Drought-prone Rayalaseema region. What is the alternative for agriculture?
I see there are two. Means like as per my personal, means like what I have observed personally is that there are two scopes. Sir. One is industrialization or through horticulture crops, sir, which are less water intensive.
Why horticulture crops? You have millets, you have cereals.
So means like what I see is that millets and cereals are less means like they are not too economical. So means like they don't give lot of returns to farmers. What I have seen.
Now they are very costly.
Means like it is all it depends upon the marketing, sir. Moreover, there needs to be integrated supply chain, which is lacking in India at present due to various reasons.
Why can't AP develop this? We are talking about creating a huge infrastructure along the coast,
Yes, sir.
and having big industrial corridors. But are we not able to create marketing network for such products which are grown in Rayalaseema?
So, for example, sir, to harness the value of the millets, etc., we need to have food processing industries, which require a lot of water, which is the basic reason for the lack of backwardness of Rayalaseema region.
I don't think so. The problem is we are not focusing on such agricultural produce because our model is different. We are not trying to what you call probe alternatives. That is why we are not even thinking of. You see, when I asked about the alternatives, agricultural alternatives, in Rayalaseema you proposed industrial alternative. I was asking agricultural alternative.
Okay, sir.
Did you get my point?
Yes, sir.
Is it not a problem?
Yes, sir, it is a problem, sir.
Yeah, that is what I
It
wanted
is a
to.
narrow-minded thinking, actually. Yes, sir.
Without industry, didn't Rayalaseema survive for so many centuries?
Yes, sir, it has survived.
Then do we need industry to survive? We can go for alternatives. There we have to work out.
Yes, sir.
This is the vision any political leader or an administrator should have.
Yes, sir.
This will be your ESP if you talk in your interview. In your interview, if this is a question asked,
Yes, sir.
if you answer in this way,
Yes, sir.
this will be your USP.
Yes, sir.
Now USP means unique selling point.
Okay, sir.
No one will talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Everyone will be saying something, some industrial corridors and something else. And basically any drought prone area or wet dry land agriculture.
Yes, sir.
ICRISAT is there.
Yes, sir.
Take the cue from ICRISAT. Develop agriculture in dry land areas.
ZBNF is the organic farming.
Yes, lots of things. We are not into it. That's a big problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is what we have
Our
to.
focus area is.
Yeah. You should be creative in giving some such alternatives. What will happen if you are answering such? If you are giving such answers,
Yes, sir.
that one answer will be impressing the entire board, and definitely this is a creative understanding you have.
Yes, sir.
Then that will take you to something else.
Yes, sir. I will
Did you get this point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So basically, I was asking about Rayalaseema region.
Yes, sir.
Do you see any, since you are into history also interested, what are the water bodies created in medieval India, medieval period in Rayalaseema? Can you name some?
Sir, one thing is Bukkaraya Samudram. Other one is major things, sir, or even
Minor also.
yes, sir. One more thing, there is a canal, sir, like Giriya canal. Means like most of them happened during the Vijayanagara period, sir. Like Giriya canal, Kamlapuram tank, Bukkaraya Samudram. Right now, I am unable to recall others. For example, there happened to be near Tungabhadra in Kurnool, Tungabhadra river. I read, sir, there is some other tank power, sir.
From which dynasty they have taken the cue?
Kakatiyas.
Kakatiyas. Even Kakatiyas developed many water bodies in Rayalaseema region or Andhra Pradesh. Can you name the areas like Rayalaseema? Forget Rayalaseema. Any other area these people have created the
Kambam Cheru.
Cheru. Then
One more thing is recently, one more thing, sir. In Prakasham district only one more is there, sir. I don't remember the name.
Apart from-
Achyutaraya.
Achyutaraya Sagaram. Then apart from that, entire this Palnadu region.
Yes, sir.
Palnadu region is also drought prone.
Yes, sir.
So there they have created. So all these things you can name.
Yes, I'll look into it, sir.
So what is the tourism potential of Andhra Pradesh?
So tourism potential, sir, means like there are three types of tourism opportunities. So one is geographical, one is another one is historical, sir. For example, historical and also temple related, spiritual, sir. For example, in the terms of geographical, we can see towards Nallamala forest. We have the India's biggest tiger reserve, that is Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam project, which can have a lot of potential for ecotourism. Again, we can see Papikondalu and also Godavari. It means like there is a yacht and all. At the same time, if we see spiritual tourism, we can see there are famous sites of all religions. For example, Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam, Srisailam temple, Vijayawada Indrakilatri for Hindu spiritual travel. At the same time, if we see for Islamic Sufism, we have Kadapa Dargah, Penukonda, Pedakakani, etc. For Christianity related spiritual tourism, we can see Gunadala Church. Again, there is a church. As of now, I remember only Gunadala Church right now, sir. But even Buddhist and Jains also are there. So for example, Amaravati Stupa. And also near my hometown, there is a place called Danavulapadu, which is famous for Jain tourism. Again, in my district only, there is a place called Nandaluru, which is one of the famous Buddhist site. In terms of historical tourism, there are many places. For example, Gandikota. Again, there is a place called Erragudi, which is famous for Ashoka's.
Yesterday in your prelims, there is Gandikota.
Gandikota, Erragudi, both are there, sir.
Erragudi also came?
Yes, sir. They told the match the following.
In match the following year.
Yes, Erragudi came, Erragudi. Again, if you see towards this side, Shatavana period times, Amravati Stupa, Guntapalli, Totlapalli. Totlakonda, sorry, sir. Totlakonda.
Bavikonda.
Yes, sir. Balukonda.
Bajanakonda.
Yes, sir. These are all there, sir. And if but what needs to be taken care of is that while planning tourism, we have to take care that mishaps don't happen. So for example, usually we every time recently Jharkhand ropeway tragedy, which was due to negligence, and also sometimes we read about boats capsizing in Godavari River, leading to large scale of
last. No, that is an exception. It's not a rule, I believe.
But I think it creates a perception. So it's like perception also sells in the.
No, the problem here is after that boat tragedy, the government was not ready to start. People were ready to travel.
Okay.
Do you think people are not traveling in the not using waterways in Godavari?
Yes, sir, they are using.
Except the tourists, everything is normal.
Yes, sir.
What happened? Why we could not start?
Maybe because of they wanted to increase the safety levels. So for example, they have started putting some control rooms every place, and it needed some time. So for example, to create infrastructure and response teams, etc., they needed some time. So this will not repeat once again.
Okay, but major problem for the promotion of tourism is not the perception like this threat or this safety. The problem is the orientation. Karnataka tourism is far advanced than Andhra Pradesh tourism.
Yes, sir.
Since years. Why? Where did we fail in showcasing our?
For example, sir, if you see staying in Delhi, I can tell a perspective. So why? Because I have seen a lot of ads, promotions of Karnataka tourism everywhere, on buses, on pamphlets, like what they say, flexis, etc. But I felt sad that I could not find the same force in Andhra Pradesh tourism promotion. So it also another thing is they are more focused towards nature-based tourism, especially they have Western Ghats, and also it is also not a mistake. It was not our mistake.
No. They have focused to Shravana Bedagala.
Yes, sir.
They have focused to Hoysala architecture.
Yes, sir. The promotion also matters, sir.
They have promoted.
And also infrastructure is also absent, sir, especially in Andhra Pradesh. It's like, especially in historical sites, which are mostly because of the hilly terrain, etc. Infrastructure is not at set. So, for example, near Gandikota, near my place, there are no proper basic hotels to stay, etc.
These are all very small things which we did not.
Yes, sir, we did not look at.
We could not is not the answer. We did not is the correct answer.
Okay.
Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Because starting a hotel is not a big problem. Starting Harita
Yes, sir.
near Gandikota, do you think you have to create lots of things?
No, sir.
But we don't. That is a problem.
Yes, sir.
So there is some problem in understanding the
Orientation. Policy focus is
focus. We have the problem.
Yes, sir.
Then coming to the aqua scenario,
Yes, sir.
what to do with Andhra Pradesh? How to improve the potential of Andhra Pradesh in aquaculture?
Sir, as we know, sir, India's top aquaculture producer is from Andhra Pradesh, sir, where Nellore district is called a shrimp capital, and Bhimavaram district means like the Eastern West Godavari were called as the aquaculture capitals of India. But there are some issues, especially like it is all export oriented. So we did not create much in internal markets. So if we develop on internal market, also focus on internal markets, and also the issue with export oriented markets is that there are a lot of restrictions, especially phytosanitary measures, which sometimes lead to rejection of our exports. So if we even look at the internal market regarding aquaculture, it will be better. So.
But we never see as the potential or the strong resource of Andhra Pradesh. They'll be saying always we talk about agriculture and not aquaculture.
Yes, sir.
That's a problem. We can equally give importance to aquaculture as we do with agriculture. We have a lot of potential.
Yes, sir.
That is a major problem.
But I feel that it is most of the times it is beneficial for the coastal belt, not in the means like where there is abundance of water. But it usually there is a chance of being neglecting of North Coastal Andhra Pradesh and also Rayalaseema region, which might not see the balanced regional development, at least in aquaculture.
Yeah, there is no balance in aquaculture development also, you can point out. So that is why when you talk about Bhimvaram or Nellore,
Yes, sir.
but not the entire coast. This is a long coast and we have only 2 centers. What is this?
Yes, sir.
This is the major problem.
Yes.
Means we have to spread our wings to capture all the potential
Potentially
in the area. That is what you can answer in your examination,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
in your interview.
Yes, sir.
This is what I was feeling about when I talked about with many aspirants. They'll be talking about aquaculture. Showcase only tell about Nellore and shrimp capital. What is there? What about the other areas? We have the problem. This one.
We have to expand it.
Expand it. So you talked about Nandaluru,
Yes, sir.
Buddhist site.
Yes, sir.
Which period?
Mandalore was exactly I don't know, sir, but I think if I'm right, it is during Maurya's only, sir. Ashoka period when Veragudi was also at that time nearby. I'm not sure.
In Andhra Pradesh, we did not get any Buddhist site which is dating pre-Shatava, post-Shatava. Ashokan, this Amaravati, we have the fragment.
Yes, sir.
Amaravati Ashokan fragment, we say this is Ashokan fragment, but we are not sure about the stupa of that time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Still, it is debatable.
Okay, sir.
Yeragudi, definitely it's an inscription.
Yes.
Inscription need not be a Buddhist vihara.
Okay, sir. I was not aware of that.
Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Inscriptions, do you know where Ashoka has erected or issued all the inscriptions or commissioned the locations of the inscriptions?
Sir, maybe near Nepal. Why? Because no, sir. Mathura maybe, sir. Why? Because no, sir. I do not know where he has commissioned them, but researchers tell that because of the monolithic design and also same architecture, same sculpturing technique used on all pillars, it is believed that all like inscriptions, pillar inscriptions have come from a single place, but I do not know from which place.
Chunar,
Chuna, sir.
Uttar Pradesh,
Yes, sir.
near Sarna.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I am not talking about the pillar inscriptions, I am talking about the other inscriptions, major and minor inscriptions on stone. Yeragudi is not a pillar
Yes, sir.
inscription.
It is a rock inscription.
Rock inscription.
Major rock edict.
So, rock edit, a natural rock which is found near Yeragudi only.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, my question is, which area, what are the locations where Ashokan inscriptions are found?
Kalsi.
Locations means I don't want the name, but the nature of the location.
Nature of the location is mainly on the trading area, sir.
Trading routes.
Trade routes. Another thing is where there is a lot of, like for example, where there was a lot of scope of expansion of Buddhism. For example, South India was started getting converted, like Buddhified, became Buddhist after Ashokan period due to his efforts. For example, he even sent his daughter and son to Sri Lanka, Syria, etc.
Did they go via South India?
His daughter Sangamitra has went to Sri Lanka to South India only. So, like
Evidence?
I cannot pinpoint. Sir.
Okay. So actually, this all the areas what you have pointed out. General location of all these things are the borders, boundaries of the means frontiers of the kingdom. Number one.
Okay.
Second thing is gathering places, junctions, trade routes. Are central places in the towns, urban spaces. That is the place where Ashoka has erected all the inscriptions because it's a public notice. It has to be kept in such areas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So last question: if you have been selected, if you are being selected to under APPSC Group 1 services, what will be or what would be your priority sector?
My one will be agriculture.
Agriculture. Why?
Because Andhra Pradesh state has depends on around 70% on agriculture, sir. And also and also we believe in the proverb that Raite Deshaniki Vennamukka, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, etc. So without the development of agricultural sector, we cannot bring balanced and inclusive growth, sir. So without balanced and inclusive growth, the sustainability, the harmony, the development, etc. cannot be sustainable, sir. Why? Because inequalities usually lead to tense.
But I say that Andhra Pradesh is already an agricultural state.
Yes, sir.
Then, if you forget, it's already an agriculture state, but your option is not agriculture, then
Education.
Education.
Yes. Why? Because literacy rate of Andhra Pradesh is sadly 67%, which is one of the, I think it is the lowest among the big states in India, sir. And also women education is around 59%.
Why it is so?
So actually it is due to lack of focus, sir, where the previous governments, like even United Andhra, they have spent more on welfare, excluding not on welfare and agriculture, not on.
Do you know that much money comes from central government for this Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan? Now it is Samagra Shiksha
Yes, sir.
to Andhra Pradesh, double the amount Telangana gets.
I don't know, sir.
Yeah, but they don't spend. Very intelligently.
Policy focus.
I'll tell you how that is diverted. So basically, AP is getting a good share in terms of Samagra Shiksha. Presently, it is known as Samagra Shiksha.
Yes, sir.
Previously, it was known as Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. It's a
Yes,
World
sir.
Bank project.
Yes, sir. Now they have included +1, +2.
So learning schemes and everything they have included. This is Samagra Shiksha. So in spite of good, see, this is the 8th year of separation.
Yes, sir.
After 8 years, all these 8 years, AP has got good amount of share for Samagra Shiksha, much better than Telangana. They have taken a lot of money from, I know the share regularly. So where is the problem? We have to understand.
Policy focus, and also that is also one of the reasons why it's only 67% pass percentage in 10th class results, due to which is has to be changed.
So thank you, Mr. Khadeer. We shall conclude our interaction now. We'll discuss further. Okay.
This video is brought to you by AKS IAS.